light is red, the kids are in bed, which means it is time for Mile High Musings with me, Aaron Yowell, right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, sports fans? It's your boy Aaron Yowell, and welcome to what will probably be an emotional episode 75 of Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the finale. This is my curtain call. It is time for me to step away. And no, I didn't get a cool offer from another network. This has been a dream of podcasting for the IE Sports Radio family, and it's just been a lot of fun over the last almost 2 years, but my job trajectory is about to change, maybe in a big way, and all of my creative energy will be spoken for moving forward. So we're going to close this thing out in style, though, because we don't know how to do it any other way, right? So do forgive my voice. I was really hoping that I would come to you today and have a good send-off with a good-sounding voice, but tree pollen is high in North Texas, and there was a point today where I didn't think I was going to see 8 p.m. Mountain. So at least we're here. Right? On tonight's show, the Avs are truly a force of nature. Truly. And they look dominant heading into the last stretch, or the last two stretches of the regular season. The Nuggets continue to play Jekyll and Hyde, making me ask, who dis? And lost. I mean, they looked really terrible. Actually, they looked like imposters without the best player on the planet. Plain and simple. Rockies finished spring training moving on from a player I did not think they would move on from. But, that's the Monforts. And the Rams, well, they turned into pumpkins tonight. All that and so much more on tonight's final episode of Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. But before we get into it, let's get a message from the network.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the IE Sports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
All right, y'all, let's get into our first segment here on Mile High Musings on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, a true force of nature. That's right. You know, we're going to close out with the burgundy and blue. First of all, I want to take the time to thank Taryn and Larry B for being in chat. As always, Larry says, thanks for your time with this man and all the best moving forward. I guess it's good that my voice sounds terrible because I'm going to crack, and this show's meant a lot to me over the last 2 years, and especially when I needed a creative outlet when I changed jobs last year. And so Taryn and Larry B have always been in the chat, my AFC West boys. So I appreciate y'all. We're going to get to that later. So, Colorado Avalanche had a Canadian road trip this week, and it was against 2 playoff teams, albeit from the Eastern Conference. Yes. But they did end up grabbing 4 of the 6 points. And the Toronto loss at the beginning of this road trip was really fluky. They put in an own goal, and the one goal that Toronto scored on their own was a shorthanded goal assisted by a referee who took a dive trying to get out of the way of the puck, and he ended up getting hit by the puck, which made the puck play weird, and then Mackenzie Blackwood was kind of in no man's land, and it was a whole weird thing. But it's all good. And yes, the last 2 points were suspect because they looked all the part of world beater at the beginning of the Montreal game to take their foot off the gas, but I am not that doom and gloom with yesterday's showing. I still feel pretty good, even though they had to win in a shootout, which they don't do that often. So let's get into the recap here. We had Wednesday, like I said, at Toronto, a 2-1 loss. The one goal is from Val Nichushkin, who this is the first game he's lost since he's been back. It's been crazy. Assist from Mack and McCarr. Like I said, it was a weird fluky goal and an own goal to give Toronto the 2 points. Then Thursday, oh boy, trying. Good old Sega Baba. And you know those Colorado teams are really good on the back-to-back. They are really, really stupid good on the back-to-back. And they, again, looked the part of world beater on Thursday night, winning 5-1 at Ottawa. 11 of the 12 forwards suited up for the Avalanche on Thursday night registered a point. That's production. That's what you want. You had 2 goals from Brock Nelson, his first 2 in an Av uni. Sorry, you got a goal from Kale, a goal from Mack, a goal from Kivy, who's been on a tear. You had 2 assists by Roscoe, an assist by Charlie Coyle, 2 assists by Drury, Lecky, Marty, Val, LOC, Kale, and Sam Malinsky, who's also been on a tear, get an assist. Production up and down the lineup. Your defense is getting involved. It's what you want to see. And that's the Avs that look like the team that people could easily pick coming out of the Western Conference come playoff time. No doubt about it. And then yesterday, as I said, a 5-4 shootout win at Montreal. Goals from Natchez, Brock Nelson again, plus Brock Nelson had the winning shootout goal, which doesn't count, but does sort of. Ryan Lindgren, Sam Malinsky, and then assists from Kivy, Lecky, Brock, got an assist, Val, and Taser. You're getting production up into the lineup. I will tell you that yesterday's lineup, that Bednar's mixing and matching and working the different lineup combinations around with the forwards, especially trying to test the forward depth and see who fits the best. Also, I feel like he's got to start to think about what if 92 does come back, because all reports and all film and all this stuff and the way that his documentary is going, I would not be surprised to see 92 in a uniform game 1 against Dallas, if that's who we draw. How effective he will be and how long he will last, I'm not sure. But I don't know who you scratch at this point. Parker Kelly, who's been good. That's the problem. The bottom 6 for the Avs has not been bad. The top 6, the Toronto game was kind of off. They bounced back in Ottawa. Your top line wasn't great yesterday, but the power play was, so it's kind of a mixed bag. I don't know. Bednar's playing with lines. I hate it when he does it. He played with lines a lot in the Toronto game. Played with combinations on the defensive end because guys are hurt. Sammy G's hurt. Manson's hurt. So Eric Johnson's getting a lot more run than we thought. Keaton Middleton played against Montreal. Did not have that on the bingo card last night and got in a fight and got beat, which was crazy. But it is what it is. But they have been a true force of nature. And that leads us to our Seal the Deal Wax Seals 3 stars of the week. And it was nice to do this 3 stars because I felt like it finally was not just me going, well, 29 is the best player on the planet right now. And number 8 is the best defenseman on the planet, maybe the best player on the planet. I got to give it to them. So this might be the first time all year that in the Seal the Deal Wax Seals 3 stars of the week, I don't have Kale and Nate on there. I know it's Homer, but if you go back and look at the numbers, I can justify it. Anyways, your 3rd star of the week is Sam Malinsky. Kind of a cush star, but he had a goal and an assist this week, played lights out, and has played lights out since the trade deadline. And lights out for Sam Malinsky is not the same as Cale Makar. Lights out for Cale Makar is the highest scoring defenseman in the league, Norris Trophy front runner, all that jazz. But lights out for Sam Malinsky is good defensive presence, jumps up in the play, moves the puck forward with his legs or his passing, and gets involved. And that's what he did with a goal and an assist this week. So big ups to Sam. 2nd star of the week's got to go to Wedgwood. Scott Wedgwood hasn't lost this month. Like, I'm not kidding. And I got to pull up the stats on this one, actually, because it's worth it. So bear with me as I pull up my spreadsheet of death, as we call it, and I get into the March tab, because Scott Wedgwood has been absolutely phenomenal. And I know this is 3 stars of the week, but I got to highlight my boy for the month. Wedgwood is 5-0 this month, only giving up 7 goals, so a 1.40 goals against average and a 939 save percentage from your backup. Blackwood wasn't feeling good at the end of not this road trip, but the road trip before. So Wedgwood was getting a little bit more run. Blackwood wasn't getting practice. Blackwood still went 3-1-1 this month so far. So it's not like he's bad. His save percentage is an 895, but Wedgwood has just been head and shoulders everything we've needed from a backstop. So that's been great. And your number 1 star of the week, it has to be Brock Nelson. 3 goals, 1 assist, gets his first 2 Avs goals against Ottawa, bags a goal against Montreal last night, and gets the shootout winner. I hate shootouts so much, but that is what it is. Avs have a 4-game homestand coming up, which is nice. And, I got to think, how much of the end of that Montreal game was the boys going, well, all right, we're up 4-1. We get to go home. We've been on this long Canada trip. Not a lot of travel because it was all Eastern Canada, but it'd be nice to be home. So they let their foot off the gas a little bit. Anyways, Tuesday versus Detroit, 7 p.m. Mountain puck drop. Thursday versus LA, 8 p.m. Mountain puck drop on ESPN. So it's probably going to be like 8:30, which sucks for me in Texas. And then Saturday against St. Louis, a 2:30 puck drop. A little afternoon tete-a-tete with the Blues. We're going to take a break. On the other side, who are you? And what have you done with my basketball team? You are with Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at @sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
We're back on segment 2. Thanks everybody for tuning in to our last episode. Super grateful to have you along. You can always check out any of our shows on Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, YouTube, Twitch, live on X. We're live over on Twitch right now. I'm actually checking out the feed to make sure it's... I see a feed live on YouTube. I saw the X feed earlier for one of our shows. Y'all, this network is popping off. this is usually the part where I plug my social media. You can always still check in with me at Big A Yowell. I am not dying. I'm not going away. I'm just going to be pulled in a different direction in the future. So please feel free to interact with me for those Colorado opinions. I hope that all of my colleagues on the network still feel like they can interact on Twitter, or on X. I really hope that you can. But, you can always check out the show for a little bit, I guess, tonight at MileHigh_IESR. Super glad to have you here. It's episode 75. It would have been cool to end on episode 100, but life and school and all that jazz. Who dis? Segment 2 brings me a who dis. No Jokic, big problems. Big problems for the Nuggets. Jokic is scheduled to be back during the upcoming homestand. Thank Christ. We had a win at the beginning of the week, and we haven't had a win since until tonight, which happened not that long before I went live. And it's been really frustrating because over the last couple of weeks, the Nuggets have looked anything other than world beaters and killers and contenders. I get that Jokic is hurt, and I can't be upset about that. And AG's been hurt, Murray's been hurt. We've been dealing with a lot of injuries, and with as much as Jokic has played over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you can't be mad about that. Dude's going to get hurt with his usage rate, especially his usage rate over the last 3 years, because last 2 years he's had to do it himself because Murray's been hurt, AG's been hurt, and Murray has been a husk of himself lately. But Nuggets go 2-2 this week on a 4-game roadie. I think the thing that stings the most is that you lose a game at Portland, and you lose it by 20, basically. And that's a team that, you maybe overlook and you weren't thinking about, but, it was just not good. It was not good. So let's get into the week recap. Monday, a 114-105 win at Golden State, win 1 of the week. AG went bananas in the game, 38 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He looked like Orlando Magic AG, just controlling the game, controlling the flow. We're going to dial up the stats here real quick just to see who complimented him, because I really have to applaud AG's effort over the last, week and a half, 10 days, because he's been having to be in control the entire time. And that's really, really not what we want out of him, especially at this point in his career. Michael Porter Jr. had 21. Peyton had 13. We also had no Jamal in this game. Russ had 12. Hunter Tyson got his first start. Insane. 9 points. Peyton had 13. Bench gave you a grand total of 21 points. It was just weird. Steph had 20. Jimmy Butler had 23 for the Warriors. They had huge bench points, but AG was just that much of a monster. 14 of 23 from the field, including 4 of 6 from 3 and a perfect 6 of 6 from the free throw line. That's what you like to see. Michael Porter did chip in with a double-double. I mentioned that he had 21 points, and he also got 10 rebounds. And Russ had a triple-double because he's Russ. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 16 assists. And the thing with Russell Westbrook, and I knew this was going to be a thing, but he just is he's just so unbelievably inconsistent. And I know, lately, the last few years in his career, he has been, no matter where he's been, he's just been so darn inconsistent. And he started that way for the Nuggets, and then he kind of got over it, and he was really, really good. And I thought, maybe a little Fountain of Youth action going on. Nope. Looks like crap. Looks like I sound. How about that? Like death. I don't know. Then you play at the Lakers. Man, the balance seems to be, the force seems to be balancing out, because we constantly were beating the Lakers, and now we can't beat the Lakers. Yet, no Jokic, no Murray. They had no LeBron. They had Luka. Luka had 31. Aaron Gordon had 26 and 11. was a minus 22 for the game. All the starters were minus 15 or 12 or worse, excuse me. P-Watt had 12, MPJ had 12, Russ had 12, CB had 10. So all your starters are in double figures, but then off the bench, you get 22, 36 points because Malone was emptying the bench because they were getting killed. The Nuggets won the fourth quarter 31-15 to make it a 12-point game. So the Nuggets were down almost 30 going into the fourth, excuse me. We can't seem to find our footing against the Lakers right now. That Luka trade has got us shaking in our boots. And Luka's good, don't get me twisted. The Lakers are good this year. They've found a little resurgence. But we're just not, I don't think we're playing up to our potential. So that is what it is. Friday, that loss I was talking about, 128-109, loss at Portland. AG led the way again. 23 points. 17 for MPJ, 18 for Russ. We get Jamal back in this one, but he only has 10, 15 for CB. And then, P-Watt with 12 off the bench, and then basically nothing from the rest of the bench. Nuggets shoot 34% from three, while the Blazers shoot 40. And they have Abdija, it took me a second, go off for 36, and Shaden Sharp go off for 23. And then they had two guys go off for double figures in their bench. Like, we just weren't in it. Actually, the Nuggets were up 5 at halftime in this game, down 6 going into the third, and then Portland just blew their doors off in the fourth quarter. And that's maddening to me. And then tonight, which I didn't prep any single notes on tonight's game because I didn't know if it was going to finish in time. And with my daughter finally getting over being sick and me not feeling good, I didn't know what was going to happen. But the Nuggets win 116-111, and Jamal Murray has himself a damn game, which I might sneeze. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Nope. Jamal Murray, 39 points on 15 of 28 from the field. AG had 13. MPJ had 17. MPJ had a good start to this game. DeAndre Jordan started at center and had 11. I think this was a really good move by Michael Malone to bring DJ in to start. We don't need him to start that often. Russell Westbrook clearly was not the answer. They did not need to go small because Houston's big with Alperen Şengün and their wings, so they needed some size. So Russell Westbrook wasn't going to be the answer. Jamal, again, 39 points, 15 of 28 from the field, including 4 of 6 from 3. So there you go. CB bringing 11 points again, and probably all the hustle. Russ with 14 off the bench. Short bench. It was, 8-man playoff rotation, 9-man playoff rotation. Realistically, it was only 8 because Pickett got 3 minutes of garbage time. Jalen Green had 30. Şengün had 17. Dylan Brooks had 21. I got to be honest with you. I was really surprised we won. I was really, really surprised that we won today. Just the way we've been playing. And I knew we had Jamal, but I just didn't think that we had it in us. I did not think we had it in us today to beat the Rockets, who are a young team and they're good and they're fighting for something. They've got something to prove, and we feel like we don't. I don't know. We have got to have home court at least once in the playoffs. The 3 seed seems to be the sweet spot. We're now a game back of Houston for the 2 seed. We're a full game ahead of the Lakers for the 3 seed. The 2 through 5 seeds separated by 3 games right now. 2 through 6 is 5 games. If the playoffs were to start today, we'd get Golden State at home. I like our odds. And then we would get the winner of Houston and whoever they play and playoff Jokic. I like those odds too. But yeah, so I'm also surprised that DJ played 40 minutes. I think, like I was saying, we don't need him to start all the time. We don't need him to play big minutes. He's had a great year. He's kept himself in shape. We were going with AG at the 5 a lot for a long time. And this is what you need out of DeAndre. You don't need him that often, and you don't need him for that long. But we needed him tonight because, like I said, Houston's big and physical. Our vital performance of the week before Jamal went off tonight, because I got almost all my notes done before the game ended. AG, 38 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists at Golden State. He was kind of our savior this week. 20 plus in every game except for tonight. And Jamal went bananas tonight. And had that game ended earlier, I maybe would have swung it over to Jamal. So Jamal gets an honorable mention for tonight's performance. Week ahead, we've got Monday versus Chicago, Wednesday versus Milwaukee, and Friday versus Utah, all at home, all 7 p.m. Mountain. Tips, we owe Chicago. Utah should be a win. I don't know. At this point, it depends on how healthy Jokic is, realistically. We'll see. We're going to take a break. On the other side, pumpkin time. You are with Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Ooh, baby, I usually sit here and tell you how convicted I am to work out tomorrow morning, especially on a Sunday night where that 5 a.m. alarm is coming quick, but because of the way I feel. And I did legs yesterday, and boy, howdy. No, I did legs on Friday. And when you're my age and you decide to push leg day and go hard, you pay for it for the next couple days. So check out Vital Apparel, though. They've got some great, great stuff. And just like me, some of our college teams turned into pumpkins. It is pumpkin time. I will tell you what, we had Upset City. We had one team. The state of Colorado had one team in the field of 68 for the big tournament here in March and all of that craziness, trying to not use copyright words. But CSU did it. They pulled off the first round upset. Number 12, CSU Rams, knocked off number 5, Memphis, the American Athletic Conference champion, in the first round of the tournament, 78-70. So it wasn't like they squeaked. They won by almost 10, which is great. And coming into today, the Rams were on an 11-game winning streak. So, hell yeah. Kyan Evans led the way for the Rams with 23 points on 7 of 11 shooting in the first round, and it was just amazing. And now we had a game today that ended literally when I went upstairs to put the baby to bed. The Rams lost to the number 4 seed Maryland Terrapins 72-71 on a Derek Queen buzzer beater. We were bantering back and forth in our group chat about that being game, and I just put in there travel because it was, but some of the people had good points about they're never going to call that with the waning seconds of a game. How much would the refs get torched? And I totally agree. Like if you watch the replay, homeboy traveled, depending on your interpretation of the gather rule. But the fact that CU was in it, they were up by 12 at one point. Let's just check out the stats real quick. Neat Clifford, the Mountain West Player of the Year, had 21 points. Jalen Lake, who hit the big 3 to put CSU up 71-70 before Maryland had 1 possession left, had 13. Kyan Evans had 10. Bowen Bourne had 10 off the bench. That dude's awesome. He's like 5 foot nothing, and he was going into the trees with reckless abandon. Yeah, Chris says that player is only going to Derek Queen, and yes, he did travel. I'm telling you, it should have gone to him. Yes, he traveled. I 100% get why they didn't call it. I'm not trying to be salty or like rage chat in the band app or on Twitter or whatever. Like, I get it. Having watched the game in its entirety, I knew where that ball was going to go, both sides, if it came down to that. I respect the hell out of Nate Clifford for kicking it cross court and finding an open shooter. I thought CSU did a really good job of spreading Maryland out the entire game. I have this problem when I watch college basketball of coaching while I'm watching, and nobody will watch basketball with me except my mom, who loves basketball, and we always, love to watch the tournament. But I'm coaching, and then I have to step away for a second, and she goes, "They finally did what you were asking them to do." And it's like, yeah, I know. Because the game is not that complicated. Anyways, the ball is going to go to Nate Clifford. He made a playmaker's play. Jalen Lake hits a three. Maryland comes down, calls timeout. The ball is going to Derek Queen. End of story. A little bit of a travel. They're not going to call it. He hits a tough shot. It was contested. It goes in. Maryland's big. They're athletic. They're long. I don't know if they're going to give people fits because I don't know. I guess I don't know how good CSU was. Because, you watch them play Mountain West, and it's Mountain West, and it's not the same as like SEC or Big Ten. And I like to think that they're really good because they made noise in the tournament. But I don't know. Proud of the Rams. Proud of the way that they were able to grit it out. And Nate Clifford is a team that I think a lot of NBA teams should look as a kid that a lot of NBA teams should look at. He's got length. He's 6'6", but he looks so much bigger. ESPN has him listed at 6'6", but on the floor, he just looks so long and athletic. I had to check it 3 times to make sure. And he's the right kind of 6'6", and he has good court vision. He can play with his back to the basket. He can play outside, inside. He's got a good bag, good handles. I just think he's going to be an asset. I would not hate it if the Nuggets tried to pick him up in the draft, like second round or, free agent, undrafted. Like, I would not be mad at all. The Nuggets try to keep him at home. He's from Colorado Springs. He played 3 seasons at CU before transferring to CSU and playing 2 seasons with the Rams. I wouldn't be mad. I'm just saying. Hey, with the way I feel, the fact that we've only hit the mute button twice, that's pretty good. Sorry, I'm watching I just got caught watching myself on the feed, and it was kind of funny watching my cough. So the other pumpkin that we turned to were the DU Pios, the men's Pioneer hockey team, made noise in the NCHC tournament, the Frozen Face-Off tournament, as I like to call it, only to lose in the championship game to Western Michigan in double overtime, 4-3. The Pios did have 2 of their players, Zeev William and Jack Devine, who were named top 10 finalists for the Hobie Baker Award, which is given to the best college player, men's college hockey player, in the country yearly. Our very own Cale Makar has won the Hobie Baker. So that's pretty awesome. But they ended up losing. With that, I don't think they get into the Frozen, like the big tournament. Have to wait and see, which stinks because they just came off of winning their 10th national title, and they were sitting pretty good there for a while. They were ranked in the top 10 all year in the men's hockey ranking. So we'll see. We'll have to see maybe in that large bid if that's a thing. We're going to take one more break. We've got a Rocky segment, and then I've got some thank yous as we finish. You are with Mile High Musings here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. And we are into the fourth quarter. The clock, she's a ticking, and I hate being an emotional dude because I'm going to get emotional, but we've got to say some goodbyes. First of all, we have to say goodbye to Nolan Jones. The Colorado Rockies traded Nolan Jones to the Cleveland Guardians for utility man Tyler Freeman. Freeman can play infield, can play outfield. He logged games for Cleveland at second, third, and short, and center field last year. So I thought it was really weird that the Rockies moved on from Nolan Jones, a prospect that they thought very highly of 2 years ago. Last year was not a great year for him. I know he was battling some injuries, but he goes back to Cleveland, the team that drafted him in 2016. So goodbye, Nolan Jones, and goodbye, spring training. The Rockies have 2 more spring training games, Monday and Tuesday, before they start the season in earnest on Friday, March 28th against Tampa Bay. The Rockies will play a road series at Tampa and then at Philly before heading home to the friendly confines of 20th and Blake to welcome in the A's for their first home series of the year starting April 4th. So big ups to them. I want to take a moment, and I'm sorry if I get emotional. I'm going to bring this over here. And I just want to say some thank yous to everybody who supported me on this channel and on the network over the last 2 years, all the fans, all the sickos that step up, that download the show, that are with me live on X, YouTube, Twitch. Used to be Instagram every Sunday night. I know it's a weird time for some of us. For those of us here in the Central Time Zone, it's bedtime. And for those of us night owls who those of us who aren't night owls, it falls at a weird time. But it has been an amazing, amazing ride. The show started the last week of June, the last Sunday in June 2023, shortly after my beloved Denver Nuggets won their first NBA championship in franchise history. And since the show's first episode, I feel like my teams have been cursed. I know that's just a lot of hooey, but the Avs and the Nuggets can't get out of the second round. The Rockies are terrible. And the Broncos, the Broncos actually kicked ass and were awesome this year. So I don't know anything about that. But
in this house, we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos.
Every day, all day. I want to thank Larry B for taking a chance on me. I'll never forget the first interactions I had with Larry B. And it was like, is this a real thing? This is real? You want me to come to a show? I've had students over the years tell me I'd be a good YouTube host or whatever. And then I get the opportunity to host a weekly sports show about stuff that I thought only I cared about. And turns out we've had amazing numbers on this show almost every week. So thank you, Larry B, for taking a chance, for being flexible with me, for being flexible with my schedule, for being flexible with the way I want to run the show. I don't feel like I do anything crazy or outlandish on the show, but you've given me a lot of freedom to just have fun and do the show and do bits and bring me to the network. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all of the things that you do for this network, for these people that give of their time to be sickos and diehards and build this network. I want to thank Taryn, especially Taryn, who's in the comments every weekend, who listens to the show every Sunday night. He's one of my AFC West boys, always there, always interacting, always has my back on a fact check. Lives for the bits, and I got him for you, buddy. Don't worry. I want to thank Ralph, who's been been in chat a lot. Jen B, who's been in chat a lot over the it's crazy, almost 2 years. I wish you all and everyone who hosts on the network nothing but success with your shows. It's truly been a pleasure to bring you all sports takes 1 mile above the rest, and to be real about the state of my team from the state that I love and the state that I grew up in. And so, for the last time, I just want to remind you that
in this house, we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos.
And I ask you to stay good, sports fans. God bless. And I will miss you all.
Go Broncos!
In this house, we praise the Lord and cheer for them Denver Broncos.